You're listening to Prosper in the Kingdom, the podcast where faith meets practical strategies to help you become healthy, wealthy, and wise. Join hosts John Cleaver and Wendy Lee as they share insights to equip you in your journey toward abundance, spiritually, financially, and beyond. Just a reminder, every situation is unique. The content of this podcast is for educational purposes only and should not be taken as specific financial or medical advice.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another podcast / YouTube of Prosper in the Kingdom. I'm your host, John C., with the super awesome co-host, Miss Wendy Lee. Wendy, how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm good. Not in my usual spot. Off-site today on a little trip with my kids.
Nice.
So I'm like
extended Memorial Weekend.
Found a little spot to record, and here we are.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Well, the audio sounds great. So good. Yeah. So you're good. But yeah, that's nice taking that entrepreneur extended weekend. So fun stuff. So welcome, everybody. We're here after the Memorial Weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed it with you and your family, and you got to do something, and hopefully it did not rain where you were at. But today we're talking about something, and Wendy and I had a conversation on this, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, something like that. And I made a comment that everything is designed to separate people from their money. And she kind of looked at me. So we, went into this diatribe, this dialogue. And so that's actually what we're going to be talking about today. And it's because it impacts us so much, right? And it's one of those, I don't want to say it's subconscious, but maybe an unconscious participation in the system, and I've got flashes of the movie The Matrix, right? Where you're in this system that you don't even realize you're participating in, but you're in it. But, I want to ask the question out there, folks, have you ever stopped to wonder truly why your money seems to slip through your hands faster than it should? And I'm not talking once in a while. I'm talking like consistently, day by day, like no matter how responsible you try to be, right? Because I know we're all out there trying, right? No matter how responsible you try to be, something keeps pulling it away from you. And it's not random. It's not random. And it's not just bad spending habits, because I know some of you are out there are really kind of locking in and trying, right? The reality is, and this is the reality. So think of, again, the Matrix, right? The reality is you're operating inside an environment, inside of a system that is constantly working against your ability to keep what you earn. Okay. And that's, kind of looking at it. It's not occasionally, it's not subtly, it's constantly. It's like, gimme. And if you don't recognize that, which, let's be honest, most of us don't, we're in this system and we think this is normal, right? This is what we're doing. And if you don't recognize what's really going on, you'll keep reacting to it while wondering why nothing changes.
Yeah.
And, taking that a step further, looking at, kind of what's going on, it's almost like you don't know what you don't know, but it's there, right? And, that's why our system, hey, make money. But they don't teach us how to manage it and things like that. So I don't know. Am I off base here? I mean, I'm not putting on the tinfoil hat, but it seems to me like this epiphany.
You hear people say all the time, like there's memes about it. You get your paycheck and you feel rich for about 17 seconds and then it's gone, right?
Right.
And, when you're paying attention, you'll notice that everything is about monthly payments. We've talked about this instead of total cost, right? That's how middle class is encouraged to think. Not how much does a car cost, but what's the monthly payment? Or, in the entrepreneurial space with online coaching, it's not about how much the big ticket is, the $10,000 program. It's here's what we can break it down into monthly payments. Everything is about monthly payments, and it's still separating you from your money because you're tied in. You're paying now or you're going to be paying in the future what you've already received, right? So it's the same as debt, really. And then subscriptions. I was actually just talking to my dad. He's like going through, my mom thought she lost her wallet. She still hasn't found it, but So they're going and canceling cards and making sure nobody's been using the cards. And he's like, what's this payment that came through? And it's like Roku something, right?
Yeah.
It was like some gaming app on the Roku that he never uses and he's been paying for the last year and didn't know it, right? So, but these subscriptions instead of ownership. So how can you buy into a subscription? You know, I think back to Apple Music when it first came out. Remember, you would buy the song and you'd own the song. I still have songs I own, right?
I refuse to give up my brick iPod because of that. Yeah. My songs, those are mine.
We used to buy CDs, like we would own things. Now we just subscribe for streaming. Yeah. And it's all about pushing that convenience, and convenience sells. And so everywhere we go, everything we do, that friction of spending is removed. I mean, even with like Apple Pay and one click to purchase on Amazon. I mean, I think Amazon, let's be real. If you're watching this right now, I'm sure at some point in time you've been guilty of like, Amazon's at my door every day, right? Like I went through seasons where I was like, I felt like every day I was ordering something. Oh, what do we need? Find it. Yeah. Oh, one click shopping on Amazon. And it's here.
Now, to be fair, Wendy, I have found that because of my Amazon purchases, I save so much money on boxes for Christmas. So I don't know that it equals out, but no, I'm kidding. Yeah. But yeah, you're right.
But yeah, and it's not accidental, right? Like the system is all about, I mean, and this is the economy. They want money to move fast, right? Mm-hmm. And so we have to be intentional on growing it and stewarding it, or else we're just going to move it around just like the rest of middle class does. So.
Yeah. And, you know, I know Wendy said something. I want you, the listener, to catch on it. So she said the system rewards money moving. Mm-hmm. Okay. And I know a lot of people are like, what the heck do they care? Right. Well, there's something, you know, our financial system is built on something called the velocity of money. Mm-hmm. And while it doesn't directly impact you, it does impact you in the fact that, you know, they want you to spend, because you buy $1, it goes to pay, you know, for an item. That item, you know, is then, you know, you got the item, but that dollar moves on to the next table and the next table, because it goes to pay the workers and buy the materials, things like that. And then that goes to buy the raw materials that are needed. So that velocity of money, the faster it goes, the better overall for the economy. So, you know, pulling back at the 50,000 foot level, that creates an environment where they want you to spend. And you see it in everything we do. Like she was just talking about, you know, the subscriptions and things like that, all of the ads. We just dropped an article on LinkedIn and Facebook where we go into a little bit of a deeper kind of technical dive on that. But that's why people feel stuck and, you know, can't explain it, right? Mm-hmm. They're doing what they were taught, but something still feels off because it's not the full truth, right? It's a partial truth. And, you know, the reality is most people don't lose ground financially because of one big decision. And what I'm talking about is, how does your money actually slip away? Mm-hmm. They lose it in patterns, in small little bites. It's almost like instead of a shark coming at you, it's like a bunch of little piranhas, right? And for you Gen Xers, you remember the movie Piranha. Terrified me to go swimming in rivers forever. But they lose it in patterns, right? It's these small little recurring charges, these little bites out of your income, right? Subscriptions that quietly stack, like, you know, Wendy was just talking about it. You may not even realize, you know, you signed up for something just to get a free report, and they forgot, now you're paying us $60 a month or whatever. Impulse decision that feel harmless, right? It's one time, no big deal. Mm-hmm. Individually, you're right. None of them are a big deal. Mm-hmm. But over time, it becomes your reality, right? Again, going back to the piranha approach, right? And this is what most people miss, right? You're not just making those spending decisions. You're responding to an environment that's been shaping those decisions for you. You know, and what I really want to kind of a clear, obvious visual of this, right? Whenever you're going to a department store, not necessarily a department store, but think of like a big box store, like Walmart, Lowe's, something like that. You don't just walk up to the registry. You run through this intake tube with products literally stacked on both sides of you. Mm-hmm. Buy some gum, buy a candy bar, buy some beef jerky, buy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the environment that we all live in. It's not just physically anymore. It's on our phones. It's on everything. It's always in front of us.
Everywhere. I mean, and it's starting too when your kids are kids. I mean, if they're doing any kind of online gaming or,
Mhm.
I forget what that little game is that my daughter used to play, but they have in-app purchases, right? Even I downloaded this cute little art app for Sloan to learn how to do art, and it wants these in-app, and they draw the kid in to guilt the parent into
Yep.
buying, right? And a subscription. And so it starts even super early, right? In that habit of I can click a button and get what I want.
Again, the system is designed to separate you from your money by any
Yeah.
means necessary,
Yeah.
right?
So
And this is kind of what happens in the stewardship piece, right? We talk
mhm.
about stewardship, and at some point it stops being about math and starts stepping into that responsibility realm, right? In Luke 16:10, whoever is faithful in very little is also faithful in much. And that applies directly how we handle our money,
Mhm.
that discipline, right? Because stewardship isn't what you do with what's left, okay? Or just giving a portion, right? A lot of people think I'm a good steward if hey, I'm going to church every Sunday and I'm tithing. So I'm a
Yeah.
good steward. No, no, no. It's so much bigger than that, right?
Mhm.
Looking at the parable of the talents, right? It's one of those where you're charged with building, with multiplying. And that's something I think so many of us have oversight. But again, it's the system that we're sitting in, just kind of speaks against that. And it's not just about church and tithing, it's about how you manage everything and what
Yeah.
but unfortunately we've had these blinders pulled over us. I'm thinking about Paul on the road to Damascus, right? When the truth is revealed, or again, going back to I'm a sci-fi geek, folks, I apologize. But when Neo kind of wakes up and realizes what's really going on around him, it's like, oh my gosh, I had no idea. And I challenge everybody, start looking at things for what they really are when it comes to that.
Yeah. And yeah, that moment in the Matrix when everything changes. And it wasn't that the things around them actually changed. It's just that they were now awake to what was
Mhm.
really going on and they saw it clearly. And that's what we need to start noticing is how we're often that we're influenced, right? And how rarely our decisions are actually really intentional when it comes to purchasing. And
Mhm.
then how normal just spending has become.
Yeah.
I mean, in so many, I think about me in general. I was talking to my dad about baseball. We have baseball tournaments all summer, like 5 to 7 days away. And it's like, it's expected typically that you just go to the concession stand and everybody goes out to eat afterwards. And
Oh yeah.
it's like all these expected expenditures. And I'm like, I'm in this place where I'm like, I want to buck the system so bad. I like, and even tell, like, listen,
I'm not doing this.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. We're going to pack our lunches. We're not doing what everybody else does. Because it truly is. And when you said that, going back to how we started this off, is when you said everyone's trying to separate you from your money. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so stinking true.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, when you realize it and say, you know what, this little stuff, and really look at your money. Like we actually were on with a client today, and she made the comment living paycheck to paycheck. And then we were going through expenses and we're like, what do you spend? She's like, oh, I have no idea. Right. Like,
Yeah.
and what are your subscriptions? Oh gosh, I have this, I have that, I have this and that. Right. So like everything is just on a whim, go with the flow, no intention. But then also, oh wait, I need to figure out how to retire one day. And so
Yeah.
it's not about being fearful of the future. It's about like getting clarity and going, okay, I'm going to be, this is the most empowering statement, right? Like I'm going to be in control of the money, and really looking at it as I'm going to steward the money well for the Lord and not let the world tell me what to do with it.
Yeah. Well, and it goes back to the Bible verse about, being in the world, but not of the world. Right. And that's the big turning point. And I challenge people to see it for what it really is, because once you start thinking about it, it's like, oh my gosh, it's everywhere. And that's really what happens when you start seeing things what they really are. And by no means am I saying that hey, you can't go out and have fun, right? But my son plays baseball for Kentucky, and even coming up in the travel games and stuff like that, when he was in middle school, high school, playing travel ball, I always found it amusing that the whole reason they're having this whole tournament that we paid as a team to participate in, that my son was playing in, they're charging me to go into this tournament. And I'm like, we've already paid as a team. My son is one of the individuals, all the kids, obviously, not just my son, but are part of the reason this whole tournament is happening. And yet I still have to pay to come in and see it. But it's again, the system is set up where everything is designed to separate you from your money. So you just got to be aware of it and pick and choose what you allow. That's the power, right? The empowerment that Wendy was talking about. And here's the real part that most people don't want to hear. Okay. This is the ownership shift. Okay. Even though this system is in place, okay, even though the system is working against you on a daily basis, you're still responsible for what you do next. Okay. I want you to hear me on that. You can't play the victim game. Okay. Well, it is what it is, right? The rich get rich and the poor get poor. No, do not take that. Do not play that role. Okay. Because awareness without action changes nothing. Okay. So here's where the shift begins. Most people don't want to hear, right? Even if the system is working against you, the cards are kind of stacked against you. This is where that ownership shift happens, right? You are still responsible for what you do next. That's the reality. Okay. Because awareness without action changes absolutely nothing. And it's all about ownership. It's all about empowerment. It's all about you taking control of your financial journey. You are the captain of your ship, right? So here's where the shift begins, and maybe write this down. Start thinking in total costs, not payments. How much is this going to cost me? I don't care what the price is. How much am I going to end up paying for it? Number 2, review and eliminate any of those unnecessary subscriptions. You may have a lot going on that you don't even know about. And the question becomes, am I really using it? Do I need it? Or is it something I just bought on a whim? Second or third is create a pause before spending. Ask yourself, and this is what I challenge our clients to do, is when they're about to make a purchase, ask yourself this question. Is this purchase moving me closer to or away from my financial goals? Number 4, assign every single dollar a job to do, a purpose, right? Income dollars are like seeds in your hand, right? You can either plant that seed and watch it multiply, or you can eat that seed like a bird. Most people, what do? They eat the seeds. Don't be that person, right? And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't have some fun, but be intentional about what's going on and be in control of it. And lastly, focus on increasing your margin before increasing your lifestyle, because every dollar you add to that margin, and that's how much you bring in every month versus how much you spend, that difference is called margin. That's going to give you breathing room and going to let go of a lot of the stress in your life, right? And that's how you're able to do some big things when it comes to the multiplied piece of the 3M framework. None of these are extreme. They're small little tweaks, small little changes, right? But together, watch what happens. It's powerful. And just do that consistently over every single month. The more you move from that reactive lifestyle to intentional, proactive, you're going to be able to do some amazing things.
Yeah. And then, you're not going to get it perfect right away or ever, but you'll finally feel in control. And I think that's what people want. People don't even know. People I talk to all the time don't even know where to start. And so we're giving you some starting places here. And you hit it, like it's being intentional with your money. Most people, it comes in, it goes out, they have no idea. So start to
they just keep making more. They just make more, that's going to do it. But because none of the things are changing, because the system's designed the way it is, the system wants you to make more money, because the more money you make, it's set up for you to spend more money. Right. Exactly. And that's what we're trying to wake everybody up to. And the reality is, guys, you don't have to keep living like this. Okay. You don't have to stay in that reactive mode. You don't have to accept pressure as normal. Like, this is what everybody goes through. That's just part of being an adult. No, it does not have to be that way. But you do have to take ownership, because if you don't take control of your money, something else the system already has, and it wants a big piece of it, right? So here's your call to action. What can you do? First of all, if you need guidance on this, if you'd like our help, we'd love to help you. Myself, Wendy, one of our other agents and advisors can help you out. Just simply go and get your free Safe Money Roadmap. How do you do that? Go to safemoneyroadmap.com. We try to make it as simple as possible. And I'll actually put those links in the show notes as well. But something else we've done, we've actually started a community on Facebook, and we want to invite you to be a part of it. Okay. And we're going to have some added tips in there, show notes, things like that, some added resources for you to use. And all of it is designed to create a conversation for God's people in helping free themselves financially and get their financial house in order. That's what this is all about, the education. We'd love you to be there. We'll also put those that link in the show notes as well. So I would encourage you, come in and join the conversation, right? So that's all for today, folks. Wendy, as always, awesome to have you here co-hosting this show with me. I'm excited about what the future holds for this and what the future holds for you, the listener, once you start owning this and really taking control of it. So until next week, folks, we'll see you on another Prosper in the Kingdom. Do us a favor, click the like, click the subscribe, and give us a little love on that. That really helps us get the word out about the show and helps the algorithm. It helps, YouTube and the podcast channels push us more towards the top. And it just helps other people just like you get the help that they need and the education they need on their financial journey. So until next week, folks, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to Prosper in the Kingdom. If this episode added value to your day, be sure to like and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with someone who could use the encouragement. For more resources, head to prosperinthekingdom.com. Let's continue building lives of purpose and abundance, one step at a time.